again we are back on Boond Soch ttalk train of thought with a series of an episodes. Normally we take a story of a prominent personalities from the diversified field to draw on meaningful learning. On this ttalk platform, there are the various sessions what we have taken on leadership, entrepreneurship, young achiever, women empowerment, and various relevant topic which is beneficial for the society and the target audience draw meaningful learning. Now, in this episode, we are going to touch upon the financial aspects. Today on this ttalk platform, we are having Professor K.V. Ramakrishnan. Sir, welcome to ttalk Boond Soch.
Thank you very much for being an opportunity to deliver my talks on ttalk.
Good. You're most welcome. I'm sure your rich experience will be beneficial to our target audience, and I'm sure they can make their career in finance on those basis.
Yeah.
A brief introduction of Professor K.V. Ramakrishnan. In fact, he has been into a Reserve Bank of India for 22 years, and also he was the general manager at STCI Financial Limited, which is promoted by RBI. Put together, I think he's got a rich experience of 37.5 years in the central banking, more into the credit market and the debt market. And he has served the several committees on central bank and the industry bank. And I've attended the various central banking program at Bank of England, Reserve Bank of Australia, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And they study the global settlement systems at Euroclear and AustraClear. And he has been a part of a various committee at RBI Standing Committee for RTG, and also committee of an improvement of NIBM SC set up by Reserve Bank of India, and also FIMMDA committee for development of a money market instrument. And apart from that, he has been part of both the corporate and an academia for 10 years into sharing the knowledge of an hardcore finance which is there. So right personality on a ttalk platform to share his financial experience and clear many doubts as for the financial students which are concerned. So once again, welcome to ttalk Boond Soch.
Thanks very much.
Good. So many times what happened, many of these students, they come from diversified background,
right.
Some are from BCom, some are having a BA background.
Correct.
And nowadays we have seen many of the engineers, they are part of finance as such.
That's right.
But normally what we have seen, there's a lot of doubts which are there that in finance how one can make career in finance, and then which is the area they want to get into.
Yeah.
And your experience and the expertise of 40 years, I'm sure is going to help our target audience a lot. So before we enter into our core finance, just for the benefit of a target or the audience, can you share right from the education till the first job with your target audience, please?
Yeah. Basically, I was a science graduate, and then I moved into Coca-Cola. It was manufacturing Gold Spot and Coca-Cola, and it was as a Parley Beverages, where I was a quality control chemist. And then I was enjoying my job quite well, and I was about to do scientific research, MSc. At that time, what happened was, one day I happened to play a cricket match in a nearby ground, and then suddenly in the afternoon I realized that I had to write this banking exam conducted by RBI. Well, I had not quite prepared for that. I just went and wrote that exam. Fortunately, it turned out to be quite good. I came out with flying colors in the written exam, and then did the interview. Interview was not so great, but then I got qualified as an officer for the Reserve Bank of India. Now, suddenly, from the world of science to the world of finance, central banking looked a little odd to me, but then I started learning things, and immediately I joined the CIIB program, which is a Institute of Banking Diploma, which gave me all the fine aspects of banking. I could pass those exams, and I could really advance myself. Another aspect was that law. What happens is a lot of legal things are involved in central banking and banking assets and the world of finance itself. Lots of legal regulations are involved. So one is better off with actually having degrees in this area so that he's not getting cheated. And when he's negotiating contracts, etc., he'll be in a better position to handle this stuff. So I did my LLB and then did my research in a little bit of research in law. I did my postgraduate also in law. And then I continued with RBI. It was a wonderful journey. I acquainted myself in the areas of foreign exchange, then core central banking, then issue of currency, and then department of supervision. All these areas I covered quite well. And then the journey went. I got continuously promoted. And suddenly, what happened was in 1991, you might have realized that there was a crisis in the finance sector. When Arshad Mehta actually took the banking sector, the world of finance by storm in a very adverse fashion. So he manipulated the settlement systems in the market. Now I was actually specializing the settlement system. I was going around the world for developing and learning a lot of the latest settlement systems. That time this scam happened. So actually he was manipulating the government securities market and diverting all the money to the stock market, and stock market was booming artificially. Then came the culprit's day of reckoning, when actually they caught him, and then he was penalized. But then by that time considerable damage had done, and the Sensex sank. It went to half its value. And then what happened actually, he was a very intelligent guy, but then everything was used in a perverted sense.
Correct.
He used his brain for devious things. So what happened was suddenly it put the regulators into a lot of action, and they accelerated with lot of what we call settlement systems, modern settlement systems, which are prevalent in other parts of the world but not in India. We still had outdated system. There was no demat account. There was no delivery versus payment system, and then all these were happening in a very outdated way. One had to actually settle with checks, and checks would take a lot of time for clearing and all that. Very, very outdated and old methods. Yeah. So, 96 we passed the Depositories Act, in which depository function started. People could hold stocks and bonds in the demat accounts. Earlier, you could not sell or buy shares in a company which was not of a certain market lot. Like for example, if you want to buy Hindustan Lever, you have to buy 50 of that. But nowadays you find that you can even buy one share and sell one share. It becomes very easy for the common man, and they can hold everything in an electronic account. And secondly, this delivery versus payment system enables you to exchange the stocks, sell it and buy it instantly. The stock account and the bank account get credited simultaneously.
Correct. I think it's exciting insights to what you're giving. Now, in fact, after your basic studies, were you sure of what you wanted to do in life, and the kind of and feel like since you were part of a BSc, any roadmap in your mind?
Yeah, correct. What happens is actually science and finance also, they are connected in some ways. A little bit of mathematics and some financial analysis, your number crunching, all these things play a part in finance, which are also a part of science. Right. So what happened is any person aspiring for this world of finance, doesn't matter from what background is he. If he's having a basic aptitude for an analytical mind, if he has basics of number crunching, and then if he's able to apply his mind and concentrate and have of course there should be a fire in the belly everywhere. If he has all these prerequisites, then definitely he can enter the field of finance and he can succeed. And that's what happened to me. And I started liking that actually. And then, I developed a passion for this banking and finance, and then I developed.
Great, it's an excellent understanding what we are getting, excellent insights what we are getting from Professor K.V. Ramakrishnan. As far as he did his BSc, and also he went ahead by doing his LLB and LLM, Now, in fact, after his short stint in corporate world, he got into an RBI, cracked the examination, and I think he navigated the span of 40 years. He went to the next level. So interesting insights to what we are getting, that how he had navigated. And I'm sure his experience is going to be of a great help for the target audience. And I'm sure please catch up with Professor K.V. Ramakrishnan on our next talk on ttalk Boond Soch with Professor K.V. Ramakrishnan. Thank you very much. So thanks a lot for being part of this.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.